Welcome to 365 Math. In this video, I'm going to help you to solve the question below. We have root 80 minus 5 root 45 plus 6 root 20. Remember, in the previous videos, I did mention that dealing with SURDS is the same way that you would do when you're dealing with algebraic terms, whereby you have to add or subtract like terms. So that would be the first step that we have to do. We have to convert these SURDS to make sure that they become like terms. And if you can remember, for them to be called like terms, they have to have the same number under the square root sign. For example, they can have 4. Let's say this is 20 root 4, and we have 5 root 4, and we have, let's say this was addition, and we are subtracting 2 root 4. This root 4 here makes them like terms because they are similar. So that is what we want to do with this question. We want to change root 80, subtracting 5 root 45, adding 6 root 20 to make sure that they are all like terms. So what we're going to have is that we are going to try and find out whether we can get a perfect square from root 80, and the same for root 45, and lastly the same for root 20. For root 80, the perfect square that we can get is 16, and we can then rewrite it as the square root of 16 times 5, because 16 times 5 gives us 80, and we're subtracting 5. This 5 does not change because this 5 is multiplying whatever is in this square root sign. And because we have gotten a 5 right here on 16 times 5, we can try to figure out if we can divide 45 by 5 and see what number we get. And if we divide 45 divided by 5, we get the number 9, which is a perfect square. So that makes it much more easier for us. We'll write 9 times 5 because we divided by 5, and we are adding 6. The 6 does not change. It is multiplying whatever is in this square root sign, and because we have a 5 right there, we have another 5 right here. We can try and see whether if we divide 20 by 5, what number we'll get, and the number that we'll get is 4, which is a perfect square, and that makes our calculation much more easier because we have 4 times 5. Now we're going to go ahead and simplify, but I'll start by rewriting this. 16 times 5 is the same as the square root of 16 multiplying the square root of 5, and we are subtracting 5 multiplying the square root of 9 and also the square root of 5, and then we are adding 6 multiplying the square root of 4 and the square root of 5. Then we go ahead. The square root of 16 is 4 because 4 times 4 is 16. So we have 4 root 5, and we are subtracting 5 times the square root of 9 is 3 times root 5, and we're adding 6 times the square root of 4 is 2, and we have our root 5. Now we have 4 root 5, because remember in algebra, if we have 8 times y, we get our answer as 8y. So similarly, if we have an integer 4 times the square root of 5, it becomes 4 root 5. We then have 5 times 3, which is 15 root 5, plus 6 times 2, that is 12. So that we have 12 root 5. Now we have 4, subtract 15, add 12. So what we're going to do is to take positive numbers first. Hence we have 4 root 5 plus 12 root 5, and we're subtracting 15 root 5. 4 plus 12 gives us 16, hence we get 16 root 5 minus 15 root 5. Now 16 minus 15 gives us 1, so we have 1 root 5, which is the same as root 5. So there you have it. This is how you simplify SURDS. You make sure that they are like terms, and by converting them to make sure that they become like terms, then makes your addition or your subtraction easier. I hope you learned something, and thanks for watching. Please do hit the subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video.